אורחת תורה שתדריכני בעמיתך היי וזכר לי לבני ביתי לעבוד אותך באהבה ויראה אני מבקש ממך ריבונו של עולם, אני מבקש ממך בכל ליבי ובזה התפילה שתנחה אותי בדרך ישרה ותודיעני אורחת תורה שתדריכני בעמיתך היי וזכר לי לבני ביתי לעבוד אותך באהבה ויראה אני מבקש ממך אני מבקש ממך בכל ליבי ובזה התפילה שתנחה אותי בדרך ישרה ותודיעני אורחת תורה שתדריכני בעמיתך שתדריכני בעמיתך וזכר לי ולבני ביתי לעבוד אותך באהבה ויראה אני מבקש ממך שתדריכני בעמיתך היי וזכר לי לבני ביתי לעבוד אותך באהבה ויראה אני מבקש ממך ממך
We're going to begin in just a moment. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're still waiting for some people to log on to the event. While we're waiting, I'm going to start with a little bit about tonight. Tonight's going to be that mix-up of a traditional style dinner with videos, honorees, speakers, and we're also going to have a fun virtual twist to it. We hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. We're going to have some little giveaways throughout the evening just to keep you guys on your toes. If you got on time, lucky for you, you can enter our first giveaway. I have a Maayan battery pack charger for your cell phone. On the theme of 10 years, send in a text to myself, 347-668-7895, or you could email me. How many of the original Maayan class can you name? Every correct name that you send in will enter you into a raffle for an external battery pack charger for your phone. Gonna give you guys a minute to send in those texts. I see some coming in already, and we're gonna start. Good evening, Portland. Or shall I say, good evening, USA. Tonight, we have people from all over, Florida, California, New York, Canada, even Israel, and of course, Portland. My name is Rabbi Yerachmiel Kalter, and it's my pleasure and honor to welcome you all to Maayan's 10th anniversary celebration, although virtually, it's our first. Our event that we have planned for you tonight, we hope is entertaining, engaging, inspiring, and most of all, it's a celebration of outstanding Torah education, celebrating our students learning. Before we begin, we must give a special shout out to all our close friends and sponsors who've made this evening a resounding success. I've been blown away by the generosity of so many of you being there through Maayan, through thick and thin. I want to give a special thank you to the entire Stern family, the Jewish Federation of Greater Portland, Torah Masora, Jules and Joan Steiber, Rick and Sue Rubenstein, Mike and Allison Sherman, Tova, Mayer and Zach Abrams, the OJCF, the list goes on and on. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We're overflowing with gratitude towards all your kindness and generosity. As this is a celebration of outstanding education, we must take a minute to thank our amazing team of educators, especially in a year like this during COVID-19, to come in, day out, wearing a mask, constantly sanitizing and cleaning the classrooms. Let's all join together. Make some noise, clap and shout in your houses. We'll do so over here. For those that make our ship sail, our amazing and talented team of educators, our teachers, let's make some noise. Woo! Yes! Thank you. I hear you guys from the side and the other side of the screen. Thank you. The annual dinner is always one of the greatest highlights of our year. Having the opportunity to chat one-on-one with our friends, share with you in the simcha and the celebration of what we've accomplished is always wonderful. While tonight we're virtual, I really feel as if you all are here with me today. Through the screen, I can feel your energy, your unity, your enthusiasm, and I appreciate it. 10 years is a serious thing. Over the past 10 years, Maayan has shown that we are here for Portland. We are here for our children, and we're here to stay. Personally, I arrived at Maayan in 2014, and I've been privileged to witness its emergence from a startup school into a high-caliber institution of learning. Our graduates have gone on to succeed at the high school level and even now at the collegiate level. A Maayan student is a Maayan student no matter where life brings them. We're a team. We join together at our time in school, and once a student moves on, we work together as well. I personally want to thank all of you out there who enable me to be part of that team, because there's nothing else that I'd rather be doing with my time than helping the next generation of great Jewish leaders. I'd like to call upon Ms. T. Winiger, whose work lays the foundation in our preschool program. Thank you for coming tonight and enjoy the evening.
Hello and good evening. Thank you for taking the time to join us in the celebration of 10 years of outstanding Jewish education and to honor Rabbi and Mrs. Brodkin for their outpouring of support and dedication to our Portland Jewish community. I am Tia Winiger, the Early Childhood Education Director here at Maayan Torah Day School. 3 short years ago, I entered Maayan as a volunteer parent and fell in love. Nowhere else had I found such a sense of community for my children nor myself. Thank you to the Levy, Brodkin, and Coulter families for inviting us into the Maayan family. Thank you to our amazing staff who've put their students first and continue to provide a loving, Torah-based, high-quality learning environment for all of our students. Thank you to our families for walking and at times running by our side. And thank you to my admin partners, Bree, Rabbi Coulter, and Mrs. Brodkin for your never-ending support. On March 13th, 2020, as a school, we faced a great deal of unknown as we decided to go virtual learning for the first time. Our staff and families did not miss a beat, jumping right in and hosted virtual learning experiences for all of our students, ranging from ages 1 through middle school. At that time, we never could have guessed how the next year would pan out. We ended the school year on a high note, creating a YouTube channel for all of our ECE students and for the public. Some of our videos had received over 1,000 views from all over the United States and internationally. In July, we decided to reopen the school as a short-term summer program as an emergency childcare facility. We opened slowly and cautiously, and Baruch Hashem, it was successful. Come September, we opened our doors to all of our Maayan students, and seeing the interactions, the encounters, love for each other, the moras, the lessons, and the Torah, we knew it was the right decision. Our early childhood education department is filled with smiles, laughter, songs, and happiness. We await the day we can invite you all to see the magic that happens in the eyes of a child as they learn something new or share a passion with another. Stay safe, and may we all be blessed with health and to be together again next year in person.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Winiger, for that beautiful message. Tonight, being completely virtual, we created several videos, some for entertainment and others to give you a glimpse into our amazing program. I want to share with you a fantastic video from tonight. I hope it inspires you. I know it inspired me. Here we go. Chris, take it away.
So when coronavirus really first became a major life disruptor, pretty much immediately Maayan closed, like everywhere closed. It affected the kids. They didn't always show it so much, but when they're not with their friends, when they're not with their teachers, when they're not learning, they're affected.
My son, Noah, was going to miss out on all these opportunities to connect with his friends. I mean, that has been the power of Maayan for our son, is coming to preschool, connecting with his friends, and just knowing that he wouldn't have that every day was really disappointing.
Our mission is education. Our mission is for the children. It's for those families. And if we have the ability, if we have the opportunity to better serve those children and those families, our mission is going to demand that we go and do that. We jumped into action. Teachers were trained how to teach online. Google Classroom was set up. Google Meets were available to be recorded and to present interactions between teachers and students.
There was this energy in all of us that we were going to come up with the best creative solutions and move as fast as we could to make sure that we could service our kids and families. And we did it.
Yeah, last spring we kind of found out all of a sudden that we were going to be going remote. We kind of sprung into action, got all the kids Chromebooks and passwords and got them instructed on how everything works, and they took to it pretty well.
To make learning engaging, our teachers gave us Kahoot games and things to play in order to make us feel hooked to the learning and make us want to continue. When school closed, it was really hard to get used to the new schedule and the way things were going to work. Going on computer, not being with friends, not being able to see people each day was a really hard adjustment for me.
We saw that there was a big difference in the children, especially the youngest ones, especially our toddlers and the ones that are in the early education department. So we decided that we were going to open for the summer. Our staff were amazing. They jumped right in. They read through all 68 pages of all of the things that we had to go through to make sure that we were ready. We changed our licensing from an early education department to an emergency child care facility. And then we opened our doors in July, and it was all worth it. They came back happy. They came back ready to interact with their friends. Our biggest fears were that these children were being deprived of the emotional connection to friends. And when they came back, we realized that that emotional connection was still very much intact.
The social benefits of having live school are just innumerable. Even with masks on, you can tell when somebody's smiling. Their eyes light up, their faces light up, their whole body language just changes, and it's just wonderful to be able to see that in person.
If school was online, it would be less fun because then you wouldn't be able to go on playgrounds or have closer talks. It's just hard to explain how much fun it would be in person.
Even though virtual class in some way was fun, and when I came back to school in person, I realized that in person is much better, even with masks.
What's impressed me the most is Maayan's work ethic and adaptability. There's so many things that they had to go through to get the school certified to be open and to make sure that everyone was going to get as much out of this as they possibly could.
The confidence that the Maayan staff has shown that we are here to educate children, and the steadfast belief that school is the place where children need to be, and this is where they're thriving, and we're here to build that and keep that environment going for them.
They need to be with friends, they need to be with their teachers, and coming up with a solution where they can have that this year makes me come here and say, Abiel, keep going, push through.
We knew we had to do it, to be there for the kids and for the families, to bring Torah into their world, no matter what it takes, through thick or thin. We were there for them, we're still there for them, and we always will be there for them, because that's what Maayan is all about.
As is apparent from the video you just saw, it's really simple. When you break it down, Maayan is about the kids. It's about providing the most optimal learning experience, even if it's less than an optimal environment. If that means creating virtual and remote programs overnight, we're going to do it. If it means investing in technology so every student has access to learning, we're going to do it. Setting up one-on-one learning for a child who needs it, we'll do it. And if it means bending over backwards time and again to have our doors open when virtually all other schools are shuttered, we're going to do it. But running this amazing program, this program we call Maayan, comes with a price tag. And this past year especially has been so many costs involved. One thing that I learned is that the more that we have, the more we can do. We're going to pause in our program at this moment to ask that we all take a moment to invest. Over the past year, I've heard of so many great investments. Tesla, Zoom, Bitcoin. I'm asking you to invest in Maayan. Invest in our children. I've never met anyone who, looking back 20 years later, says, my only regret is just giving too much to education. Or I feel bad that I gave a little too much tzedakah back then, and now I just don't have that $1,800. This is the one investment with guaranteed returns. As I say every year, the secret, the Jewish secret to wealth creation is charitable giving. The secret is tzedakah. The more that we properly minister the monies that God puts into our accounts, the more blessing that will come into our lives. I've seen it personally time and again in my life. Please take a moment, hit that donate button to the right side. If you already gave your gift, please consider doing something small again. If you want to send in a pledge to be paid another time, you can send in a check. Please email me, ycoulter@maayanpdx.org, or text me 347-668-7895, and someone on our team will put it in from the back end. Having those coming in, everything helps. As the mayor said last year's dinner, give, 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 give until it hurts. As a small side thank you, all donations given now at this ask, at this moment, will be entered into a special drawing for dinner for two at your choice of either Holy Smokes or Garbanzos. If you're out of the Portland area, don't worry, we'll figure out something for you where you live. Thank you, And I'm going to wait a minute or two for some of those donations to process. Alrighty, thank you so much. I see some are coming in already. We undertook this dinner to be our best campaign yet, and I'm seeing that it's coming to fruition. So thank you for dipping in, for going above and beyond. I really appreciate it. It really makes the biggest difference for us. We're going to wait another minute or two as I see some of those donations are rolling in slowly. Thank you. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to give another 30 seconds or so. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, we're getting there, Let's keep pushing, let's keep charging. Every dollar that you give is going to make a difference. The more that Maayan has, the more that we can do. I so appreciate seeing the generosity of so many people coming together. Almost ready to go. We're getting set. Thank you so much for coming through. I know some of you have already donated more than once in this campaign. It really, really adds up. It really makes a difference. Thank you so much for all that generosity. Amazing. Thank you so much. Again, you'll have the opportunity to donate throughout the entire evening, but we're going to continue with the program, and we so appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much. It's my greatest privilege to be part of this next segment. So many people give of their time in extraordinary ways. None have given to Maayan as much as our guests of honor. Time, energy, resources, night, day. You know what? How cool would it be if we all banded together right now wishing Mazel Tov to the Brodkins? I want everyone right now, right here, take a moment, take out your cell phones, pull them out, let's text Mazel Tov to them. I'm going to do it as well. Let's send a text saying Mazel Tov. I want to see that pouring into them. Show that outpouring of love, because they give so much to this school and they deserve that recognition. As you guys are doing your text, without further ado, I'm going to present our next segment. Here we go.
When my husband and I landed in Portland, Oregon for the first time, we just fell in love with the people here. We loved the families. We loved the children. We loved what they wanted to do with their lives. And I wanted to be part of that. And I felt like, what was the best, most meaningful way I could give to this community? And that was being able to enrich their children's lives. Maayan is so dear to me because I know what a Torah education has done for my life. I know what it means to be in a place where you feel loved and you feel that people cherish you. And it means so much to me that I know I get to make that school environment for kids every day.
My wife and I really saw the need. It was something that we felt personally with our own children. It was also something that, as the rabbi in Rabbit Center Congregation Kasarizzo, we were working with many families that had a need for a school like Maayan. There was no Maayan in those days. We're able to see in Maayan a real future for our community. And so this really is the Jewish institution for Aviel and I that really speaks to the Jewish future of Portland, of kids growing up in our community, and it's been an incredible honor to be able to devote a lot of our time to this endeavor.
There was never a question of, no. There was always a question of how. And then Rabbi Brodkin stood up and said, we are in need of another school to service certain families. It was not easy. And him and his wife, when the history books are written, they will be responsible for the Jewish education of thousands of students.
From day one, it was so clear and apparent seeing the Brodkins' involvement and investment in Maayan, in the education, in the final product, in the fundraising. There's not one part of the school that hasn't been touched by the Brodkins.
Mrs. Brodkin's role in the school is, she literally is everything. She is the heart for all the students, the teachers, her thought process when she plans anything. There are times when I come in the morning and I have emails from her from midnight to 3 a.m. She is such a hard worker. She puts her all into this school, and it is shown every day.
I remember staying late at Maayan almost every single day, and I would badger her and ask her, can we leave? Can we go? She would say, just 5 more minutes, just 10 more minutes, I'm packing up my stuff. It was never 5 or 10 more minutes.
The Torah values that you hold as a principle in the Jewish community are a treasure for those lives you have touched, whether they're children or parents or the community.
Over these last 10 years, we've watched the school grow and thrive. Such happy children in a wonderful learning environment. We are so very proud of Ken and Aviel.
The most rewarding aspect is when families start coming to me and they say, I feel my family coming together. I feel my family is stronger. And I know it's because the school is there for all of us.
We've created a Torah day school where children will grow and thrive, and wherever they will go from here, they'll be a part of the Jewish people, and they're going to carry the torch and be the leaders of the next generation.
Mazel tov Brodkins on this well-deserved honor.
Mazel tov!
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
It's my honor and pleasure to call Rabbi and Rebbetzin Brodkin up onto the stage. Give me a second, I'm going to put on my mask. This plaque that's presented to them is extremely meaningful. The words that it says is presented to Rabbi Ken and Aviel Brodkin from Maayan Torah Day School for their tireless dedication on behalf of Maayan students. And the words, it says, B'harevna Hashem Elokeinu es divrei sorascha b'finu. It's the prayer that we ask God, we ask Hashem to make the words of the Torah sweet in our hearts. And I can't think of anyone who invests more time and energy into the learning of the children to make it sweet, to make it enjoyable, to make it something that they want to come back to again and again. So thank you, Rabbi Brodkin. Thank you, Mrs. Brodkin. It's our pleasure to present this plaque to you.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. It's going to be so beautiful in our home. Beautiful.
Very beautiful, and will be very meaningful for us for many years to come. Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Tonight, I want to say mazel tov to our community on this great milestone. What a joy this is as we celebrate the first decade of Maayan. Thank you so much for this wonderful honor. When I first became involved in Maayan, there was no school, just an idea. We had no location, no teachers, no students, no bank account, and no money. What we had was a dream that Portland, Oregon would become a place where Jewish kids and families thrive more than ever. A dream that children here would have access to the life-giving light of Torah, as well as great secular education. Thanks to that dream and our shared passion, we opened our doors in September of 2011. On the first day of school, I walked into our first Maayan classroom where Mora Esther and Mora Amy were teaching the kids. It was a pinnacle of my own life journey. Seeing that first classroom reminded me of the moments that my own kids came into the world. It also helped me realize why we did it. It's all about the children. Today, Maayan is a treasure in our community. Maayan is a place where children thrive. It's a place where parents, staff, and community come together as partners in an enriching experience, building a school for today and a strong future for tomorrow. I'll be forever grateful to everyone who partnered with us in this endeavor. People gave large and small fortunes and the best days and hours of their lives to build this school. So many parents, volunteers, teachers, staff, and donors gave blood, sweat, and tears to see this happen, and we did it together. What happens here is unique. Maayan is a place where kids have a living connection with the Torah that we have transmitted from generation to generation. We have so much to be proud of, but there's much work ahead of us. We need to continue building this school and Jewish education here in our community. I want to say thank you to Congregation Keser Israel for supporting me and Aviel in this endeavor. There's no way Portland would have this resource had we not had a strong visionary shoal behind us. Thank you, Keser Israel. I want to say thank you to Rabbi Kalter for his visionary leadership. Our community is fortunate to have this courageous leader here. Let's all get behind Rabbi Kalter and our staff to support their amazing work going forward. And finally, thank you to all of you out there tonight, our staff, parents, donors, volunteers. Maayan is your vision, and it's our future. And remember, it's all about the children.
Join us as we take a walk down memory lane, looking back on 10 years of outstanding Jewish education.
Portland was a sweet Jewish community. It was a very warm Jewish community. It also felt very limited. It didn't feel like a place that more traditional families really had a future for their children. There were a lot of people that would grow Jewishly and then move beyond Portland. There was an unmet need here in the community.
When I landed for the first time, I was met by Michael Rosenberg, who told me he wants to take me to the cemetery. And he did. And I said, why are we standing in a cemetery? So he said, because I want you to see that there was a Jewish community here over 100 years ago. In the car ride, I said, you showed me the history of Portland. But I am here to create the future of Portland with you.
People started talking about the need for a school like Maayan, and we just started talking to anyone and everyone who would listen. We went to people's houses to talk to potential parents, potential donors.
And that partnership between the kollel and the rabbis and the community is a special thing. And then Rabbi Bratkin stood up and said, we are in need of another school. It was not easy.
It's quite comical trying to sell a school that doesn't exist. I remember taking photos of my nieces and my nephews to put them in the first brochure. But the whole time I had a real vision of what that school was. So for me, it was real. It was just real here. And I needed to communicate it and paint a picture of it for my upcoming and future families. I want it to be a place where the student is the center of the education. We think about how are we going to make their connection to Judaism joyful, real, something they love. And at the same time, I wanted a certain style of instruction. I wanted it to be that it was active and kids were engaged in it.
Coming from New York, from various schools, seeing our large community that we were part of, looking at Portland, Oregon, and seeing what a small, loving, warm school we have here, was something that was attractive to me and my family. We came with young preschoolers, and I was thinking, of course I want them in such an environment. There's warmth, there's love, there's nurturing. There was a sense of family.
7 years ago, my husband and I were discussing, can we go back to Portland and make it our home for our family? And Maayan was a key aspect of the community that enabled us to come back and even pulled us back to Portland. If Maayan didn't exist, we probably would not be here.
I came out to Portland in 2014. The school was in its third year, starting its fourth year. There were about, I think, 35 students when I interviewed at Maayan. And already by that next year, there was, I think, 45 or 50 students. Every year, seeing that growth to 60 to 70 to 80 was exciting. The Neva campus was an amazing first start for Maayan, having a large space where they were welcoming and open to us coming and setting up shop. But it became apparent in 2018 that we really need our own space, a facility where there's a gym, fields, playgrounds, more classrooms, and the Touchstone campus came up.
It was a daunting task. It's not easy to go out and just find a school and space and all that. The beautiful thing about this community is that it immediately came together from all sides, from the school folks, federation, individual donors, everybody that came together and was able to find this space and make this happen in really record time. I think that shows the commitment of the community, and it's something that we should really, as a community, be proud of.
And when we did reopen our doors in that bright day in this new beautiful campus, it was just one of the happiest moments of this community and a real testimony to what Maayan is and to what Maayan brings to local children and families.
When COVID hit, it was scary. I'm simply speaking about the children's education, about the mental health, the social, emotional well-being of our children. That was a scary time.
I remember so clearly, Thursday night, I'm in my bed, it's 10 p.m., and I realized the governor has said we are shutting down schools. 2 weeks, that was all it was gonna be, 2 weeks. So we came up with a plan within 4 days. We got families learning online. Then we took feedback from parents and we upped it to an even higher level. Our program now is gonna be Maayan 2.0 virtual remote learning. And we came up with a whole plan to come back to school to get our kids the education they needed for this year and the emotional support, and we did it. We pulled it off. It was a hard stretch, but we turned it to an emergency child care facility so that we could provide learning right here at school.
I really wanted to do a good job of adjusting and making sure that the kids were going to get as much out of it as possible, because I feel like I'm part of a community here. And I want to do my best for the people who are a part of this community. So that's what motivates me to push as hard as I can.
Our thoughts were, the NBA is ready to play basketball. MLB, they want to play baseball, they made it happen. We want education, the best that we can give it, and we're confident we could do it safely in our school live, and we're here. It's amazing.
I think Maayan's unique because they always think of things from the student's perspective. Like, what's going to be interesting, what's going to be engaging, what's going to keep the students active.
What makes Maayan unique is that it feels like a family.
Is the love of learning.
Is its nurturing environment.
Implanting the love of Judaism.
Its warmth and its ability to meet each kid for who they are.
Maayan is on the top of the mountain of Portland, Oregon, this Jewish education. That's the highest point. And Maayan is at that point.
I have dreams for the future of Maayan, and they are balancing that small school nurturing feel and making sure that every child has what they need to walk out of Maayan prepped for their future. And also that dream means that we continually build what we're able to offer our students. We're celebrating 10 strong years at Maayan. We have a great future ahead of us. We are here to stay.
For my family, Maayan is home.
It's a nurturing home.
A home away from home.
It's my home away from home.
An extension of our home.
For my family, Maayan is home.
Tonight, I'd like to start with some thanks. With gratitude to Hashem and the hundreds of people who have invested in me and, more importantly, the children at Maayan Torah Day School. Thank you for celebrating with us on this school's 10-year anniversary. I want to thank my husband, my children, for sharing their mother so graciously, my mother, my in-laws, siblings, staff, community members, and my most amazing board of directors, including Sandy Katz, Tia Winiger, Bree Murphy, and last but most notably, Rabbi Kalter, for working tirelessly on this achievement. Thank you, Hashem, who has given us life, established us, and let us arrive at this auspicious moment in time. Thank you all. You've supported us through thick and thin. You've enabled us to provide the crucial needs for our children during this COVID year. So, what was I thinking? Any of you ever asked that question when you look back at your high school yearbook? I've asked that question a few times when perusing my senior yearbook page. It was very different than everyone else's. My classmates had the same traditional theme, some pictures, some inspiring quotes, and mine was different. It was a hand-drawn self-portrait of myself with crazy curly hair and words artistically woven into the curls with a quote that read from a popular song, "We're never gonna survive unless we are a little crazy." And I think to myself, am I still that person? Well, starting this school, Maayan Torah Day School 11 years ago, I realized I must be. I must still have this belief to live life. You need to be a little crazy. You gotta think bigger, go out of the norm, dream bigger. And it's probably what attracted me to my husband when we first met 23 years ago. On our third date, he too showed me he was an ambitious dreamer. He told me, I want to go and be a rabbi of a smaller Jewish community and see it grow. Well, he meant that crazy dream, and it was a good match because we moved to a city that prides itself on being a little meshuggah. But looking back, I realized that when I was 16, sitting in my room, drawing my yearbook page, it was a small, prophetic message to my future self. And tonight, I want to share that message to you. I want to light up the dreamer in you. My hope is that my story of starting a Torah Day School will reignite your passion for making dreams come true. But let's first ask, is it a Jewish midah to dream big? Is it a Jewish ideal to be so passionate about something that you're a little meshuggah to achieve it? If we look at Tehillim, the answer is a resounding yes. It describes the Jewish people in Shir HaMalos, Et Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomim. For the return of Zion, we were like dreamers. And when I think of this line, I envision all those brave Jews who came back from the Persian exile to Judea to rebuild the Second Temple. It was Nehemiah the Navi, around 500 BCE, describes those who rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. They built with one hand, and the other hand held a weapon, describing how trepidatious their endeavor was. These words created a mental image that has stood by me for the last 10 years, especially in hard moments. It gave me strength to continue, knowing it's in my Jewish blood and all of yours to dream while building the future. And again, Hayinu Kechomim, we were like dreamers when we returned to Zion in the 1880s and early 1900s, pioneers clearing swamps, starting yeshivas, starting Torah communities outside the old city, building hospitals, and literally planting farmland to sow Eretz Yisrael into a national homeland, Israel. Where would we be without all the dreamers who came before us? And that's part of why we're here on earth. It's to be dreamers for Klal Yisrael, for the Jewish people, our families, our kids, and the world. Maayan Torah Day School is part of that dream, and there's no better way to build our children than instilling in them a love for serving Hashem and the knowledge of Torah. So tonight, I waited 10 years to give over a glimpse of the craziness that it takes to be a dreamer. And like that psalm continues in Shir HaMalot, to make a dream happen, you have to sow with tears. But remember, with joy we reap. Hazorim bedima barina yiksaru. And that's the joy we get to celebrate tonight. You see, my husband and I, we moved to Portland in December 2005 with 4 kids in tow, and we noticed a trend in our community. Multiple families were either moving out of Portland or other families were struggling to have their kids connect to their Jewish heritage. And I admit, 10 years later, starting the school was the hardest thing I've ever done, including giving birth to all of my 7 children. And we joined with our first board members who were courageous visionaries. We knew it was time to start Maayan Torah Day School. Even our students have learned to think bigger, to think beyond today. Last week, a 2nd grader asked me to look at his artwork. It was entitled, "I Love My School Because," on which he wrote at the bottom, "I hope I can stay in this school forever." So it was a learning moment. I looked at the class and I said, I hope you all know that I want you to learn as much as you can and then graduate and move on from our school. This student did not look very settled with my answer. And so with a twinkle in my eye, I told him he could stay if he becomes the principal. He looked at me so sincerely with the biggest grin on his face and said, "Mrs. Brodkin, I want to be the principal here when I grow up." Now that's nachas. Our students are dreaming of their futures too. So we're left with an important question. What are we going to show the children in our world we are crazy for? Our kids are watching carefully to see. What are we dreaming for? If they see that it's connecting to their Torah roots, their Jewish future, and serving the world, they will learn from this. And they're going to copy our example. They'll reach beyond their natural limitations, the norms, and in return pursue great things for the generation after them. Tonight, my message for you all is to be a dream chaser. Yes, you gotta be a little crazy to chase a dream. But join us to continue that dream another decade with your support. Dream for our Jewish children. They need a school like Maayan.
Thank you, Rabbi and Rebbetzin Brodkin. Your words are meaningful and inspiring and truly a lesson. Our next part of our presentation, we have the one and only Charlie Harari, world known. He's a fantastic speaker, and I always love how it slowly builds throughout his speech. He has a phenomenal message. Here we go.
It's truly an honor to be part of this celebration. And I thank the Maayan Torah Day School of Portland for inviting me. And I thank you for your time. And I only wish you continued success. You know, when you look around, you see that at the surface, we all look pretty different. Just take a look at the world. People look different. People talk different. Different interests, different backgrounds, denominations, affiliations, careers. And it's easy to get stuck in this world of seeing how different everybody is. But if you go one step further, what you'll find, that 1 inch beneath the surface, we're all pretty much the same. And that we're all the same and that we're all after the same thing. We're after a certain life. It may sound different, but what's generating the sound, what's powering the thought, is the same interest. I believe it's greatness. We want to live a great life. We want to feel like we're making a difference. We want to feel like my life, my time on this world is great. And if you're raising children, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because the worst thing your kids can tell you is, I'm not good, right? Mom, Dad, I'm not good at math. I know really, I've determined that I'm not good at math. I'm like, well, really? Because you've been doing it for 6 minutes. You're like, well, you know, I know me. I'm a people person. I'm like, you're a people person? You've determined you're a people person because you can't do math homework? You're in the 4th grade. I'm like, you sure? I have no friends. I'm not good at sports. I'm not a good kid. You ever get this from any of your children? It drives us crazy. You know why? Because we want our kids to be great. Do you know why? Because we want to be great. And we know that it is the destiny of every human being to touch greatness in their own personal, particular life. Well, we're in the holiday of greatness. And who we meet in this holiday is one of the greatest Jews that ever lived. And that is Queen Esther. You see, Esther was one of the most fascinating characters in Judaism. Now, we've got a lot of great people in our history. I'm saying, like, we've got a pretty solid bench of Pro Bowlers, if you know what I mean. Like, we got kings and queens and prophets and prophetesses. We have people taking on the whole world, right? We have people that spoke to God. Like, we have a significant slew of Hall of Famers behind us, but they all seem to follow a certain pattern. The first time you heard of them, you kind of knew they were going to be great, right? The first time you hear about Abraham, and as the Medrash says, he like walked through a fire pit for God. You kind of want to bet on Abraham. Like, you kind of know he's a pretty good first round draft pick. He's going to really lead you to Super Bowl. Like, that's why God's telling you the story, right? Isaac sticks his neck out for God. Yeah, he's gonna be one of the big ones. Moses, burning bush, David, Joseph, like Sarah, Miriam. When you kind of hear the characters in the beginning and you introduce yourself to people, usually the reason why the story speaks about them is to begin the process of showing their greatness, with a pretty glaring exception, and that's the exception of Esther. The story of Esther opens up the story of the Megillah, and she's completely meek, passive, dependent. Wherever Mordecai tells her to go, she goes. She's an orphan. She feels vulnerable. She has no parents. She's being raised by her uncle Mordecai. She has no personality of her own. King Ahasuerus decides that he wants to find a new wife after he kills his earlier one for not appearing in the way he wants in public. Guess how many women wanted this role? None. They hid everywhere. Who wants to be his wife? Mordecai comes home and goes, Esther? She's like, yeah. Like, I signed you up. She's like, what? She's Esther. She just goes. They ask her, where are you from? Nowhere. Where's your homeland? Nothing. The Talmud says she was like karka. She was like ground. You don't realize the ground is, when you walk on ground, no one's like, wow, that's really amazing ground. The pavement's amazing today. That's what Esther was like in the beginning. And then something happens to Esther. If you remember the story, the Jews are subject to this wicked minister Haman. He delivers a verdict, sends out the law to kill the Jews, and Esther is the one that walks in at the face of death, and she outplays the king and the wisest minister Haman not once but twice. Ahasuerus goes, what can I get you? She goes, him on a plate and his kids. Can you imagine? We have a hard time calling someone to say, like, we're upset. Can you imagine what it must have been like to stare down Haman in the face and say, he wants to destroy my people, kill him? She basically brings the Jewish people on her back, saves the day, sails us off into the sunset. What happened? The beginning, Esther 1, wherever you told her to go, she went. Esther 2, you couldn't possibly stop her. She was an unstoppable heroine of epic proportions that literally saved the Jewish people from annihilation. That was a total 180. What caused her to flip? So I want to share with you one of the greatest moments in sports. One of the greatest moments in sports history took place in a sport that most of us don't play. Some of us do. It's called track. It was May 6, 1954. And lining up at the gate was a medical student named Roger Bannister. And Roger Bannister had a theory that everybody thought was insane. Roger Bannister was trying to beat the 4-minute mile. Now, understand that nobody in the history of the competitive sport of track ever beat the 4-minute mile. In fact, doctors said that it was impossible. And if you even tried to run that fast, your lungs would collapse. Your knees would give out. The human body wasn't made for this. We're not animals. We're not cheetahs. And as a result, no one ever did. But on that day, on May 6th, around the track, Roger Bannister gained a little bit of a lead and started to realize that he had a certain stride that he never had before. And as he turned the corner on that last and final lap, he felt like the wind beneath his feet. And he pushed himself as hard as he can, and he finished the race at 3:59, beating the 4-minute mile. The next morning, it said "Science Defied" was the cover of the headlines. Awesome, right? I want to tell you what's even more awesome. The next year, in 1955, 57 people beat it. The next year, in 1956, 300 runners. That means probably every single competitive runner broke the 4-minute mile. How? Wait, from the beginning of time till 1954, nobody did. Nobody. As hard as they tried. Because nobody comes to the race and goes, I'm going to jog this one. You can be sure that every person that comes to track goes, I'm going to run faster than the next guy. You can be sure that every single human being that was running as fast as they possibly could. No one was taking it easy around the track. I don't understand. You're running as fast as possible, and then 2 years later, you're running as fast as possible, and then 2 years later, you're running exponentially faster to the point where you're breaking a record that nobody even thought of breaking 3 years earlier. How is that possible? And the answer is the secret of Esther. What happened in Purim? What flipped? Haman becomes the second most powerful man outside the king. The king takes off his signet ring, which is the legislative power, and hands it to him. He used it, like every good anti-Semite, to destroy the Jews. And he signs a law that says that in 11 months, everyone is able, under the letter of law, to find Jews and kill them. 11 months, the law goes out to all the land, and the Jews find out. Now, what would happen if, God forbid, that would be the case? Just imagine, God forbid, we find out that a law gets passed, then in 11 months, people are allowed to walk over to a Jew, kill them with no penalty of the law, pillage their home, take all their possessions. What would happen? We'd be lobbying Congress, we'd be going to Washington, we'd be praying, we'd be doing all these special mitzvos, we'd be saying all these special prayers, we would go crazy. Well, guess what happened in Shushan, which was the capital of Persia and the Persian Empire? That's what they did. They went crazy. They were praying, they were storming the capital, they were protesting in the streets. And Mordecai turns to the crowd and goes, guys, wait a second. We got the queen. We got the queen. And he sends into the castle a message, basically saying, Esther, I don't know if you're paying attention, but in the West Wing, your husband went nuts. Go in there and talk to him. Now, Haman made a rule that you can't just talk to the king. You have to get there by appointment. And guess who ran his book? Haman. So you can't just roll into the king. She couldn't go in at penalty of death. So she sends back a letter to Mordecai and says, Mordecai, you don't get it. He didn't invite me. I can't go in, but don't worry. Like, he's going to invite me at some point, and the decree's 11 months from now, so don't worry. And Mordecai knows what this is. This is Esther 1. And he sends her back the following line, and I'll say it in Hebrew, I'll translate. He writes back and he says, if you stay quiet now, the Jews will be saved from some other place. And you and your lineage will be forgotten. Now, why did he say that for? The answer is that Esther came from a very other powerful woman named Rachel. Now, Haman's lineage comes from a woman named Timnah. Timnah was a princess that wanted so badly to be part of the Jewish people that she was willing to be a concubine of the son of Esav. And God saw that she sacrificed for us and gave her special power. And she gave birth to a son called Amalek that ultimately was the grandfather of Haman that had incredible power. He used negatively, but powerful. And the only other person that had that level of sacrifice was a woman named Rachel. If you remember, she gave her sister up. She gave her sister the ability to marry Jacob. And God said, I saw what you did. And Rachel had a unique power, which is why Rachel's children were the ones that were able to fight Amalek. They had a unique, special power. That's why Saul, which is one of Rachel's children, was given the opportunity. That's why Joshua was told to fight as well. All the people that were in that lineage had this special power. Mordecai is telling Esther, you have no idea who you are. You think you can't. You have no idea what you can do. And then he delivers the final blow. And who knows if for this moment you became queen. Mordecai was telling her, what, you think it's just a coincidence? You think you just got chosen? You think you're the one that just was picked to be right here, right now? And when you stare at that challenge, you think you can't? Let me tell you something. Whether you can or you can't is going to depend on whether you believe it. Because you got all the power you need to be great. But you got to choose to be great. And greatness always comes through challenge. As soon as Esther heard that, it was game over. Her next words were, go gather the Jewish people. Let's go. And from that moment, she becomes the greatest. And the lesson of Esther is the lesson of Roger Bannister and all the runners, because how in the world was no one able to break the 4-minute mile? And all of a sudden, Bannister does and everyone does. And the answer is everyone was able to break the 4-minute mile. But there was this thing hanging on top of us that said, humans don't break the 4-minute mile. And this psychological block was translating into how we pushed ourselves. The psychological block of if I am challenged by something, it must then mean that I can't. That the feeling of I can't must mean that I actually can't. And when I stare at a challenge, Since the challenge is beyond what is possible for me that I think is possible right now, I assume that since I don't feel like I can do it, I can't. One of the greatest mistakes that we make in life is that we assume that if something seems beyond us, that it is beyond us. Challenge is the pathway of greatness. It's not the detour of greatness. And for some people, their goal in life isn't greatness. You know what the goal in life is? It's comfort. And as soon as there's something that makes them feel uncomfortable, they assume that that's not them. You ever ask yourself, you ever find yourself saying, that's not me. I can't do that. That's not me. I didn't grow up that way. I don't know that thing. I can't say that word. I can't learn that thing. I can't. And someone goes, well, how do you know if you can or you can't? You'll say, because it feels uncomfortable. For some people, the way they know they can't do something is when it feels uncomfortable. The feeling of discomfort is the proof that the thing that's in front of them is something that they can't do. But greatness isn't comfortable. And great people come from different backgrounds. And for every one background that is unique to a great person, someone doesn't have that background. But they all share one similar trait, that for them, comfort isn't the end, comfort is the beginning. If something feels comfortable, that's the proof that they don't belong there. Because the only chance they have at greatness is they're uncomfortable. The challenge is the only way they draw out the power inside them. The I can't is really the only way that they can ever figure out what they can do. And as soon as something becomes a little uncomfortable, they sense that there's going to be a piece of them that comes out that would never have come out but for this. The story of Esther is the story of me and you. Because all of us are Esther 1 and all of us are Esther 2. And the question is, are we willing? Are we willing to stare at our own challenges and say, you have no idea who I am? Because really, the reason why we can't break our own 4-minute miles is because our brain is telling us we can't. But our soul knows better. Esther tapped into something that was always in her to become someone she always was able to be. And that's our challenge in life. Every one of us has our own path of greatness. Every one of us has our own challenge in front of us. But how we look at our challenges will determine how we're able to tap into the powers that enable us to overcome those challenges, or at the very least to bring out the best as we struggle with those challenges. Because greatness is uncomfortable. And to me, that's what the school is all about. It's about helping understand how to bring out the spiritual greatness in the students. That's what God wants from us. That's why he gave us a book. That's why he gave us the Torah. That's why he gave us the stories. He's trying to draw out the spiritual greatness that's in every one of us. In the school, that's what they do, to draw out the spiritual greatness in every one of those students. My blessing is that every one of us becomes the Esther 2 that's inside us. We all have our challenges, but the question is how we see those challenges. Are they the proofs that we're not enough, or are they really the pathways to showing us who we really are? And when we face those challenges with the mentality of course I can, I got something inside me that has to come out, then we achieve in our own lives. Greatness is not the trophies we get or the symbols we have or the likes we get. It's not the status. It's not the dollars. It's not the homes. Greatness is the knowledge when you go to bed every night that I left it all on the field, that I pushed as hard as I could, that I did not let the discomfort hold me back from becoming the person I'm meant to be. That's the lesson of Purim. That's the lesson of Esther. That's the story of this wonderful school. And that is what we all have in common. The quest to become the people we're meant to be. Thank you for having me, and may God bless you for many, 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 many more years in health and prosperity and being able to bring out the greatness in every one of your students.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harari. Those words were inspiring. I have another fun little giveaway for tonight. Mr. Harari spoke about Esther 1 and Esther 2 and a breakthrough moment. Well, if you've had a breakthrough moment, send us a text, a little blurb. You can send it to my cell phone or my email, ycoulter at MaayanPDX. We have a special monogrammed Maayan 10-year logo, Megillas Esther, leather bound, for a raffle that will go in for whoever sends us in. Again, send in your Esther 1, Esther 2 moments and that breakthrough moment, and you'll be entered into a raffle for a beautiful monogrammed leather Megillas Esther. Moving along with our program, we have a little fun. I'd like to introduce our ventriloquist, Mr. Chuck Field.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Well, my name is Chuck Field. Can I get a what's up, Chuck? It's a little cheesy, but you'll always remember my name is Chuck. So it is an honor to be here this evening to celebrate Maayan Torah Day School's 10 years of outstanding Jewish education. Let's hear it for my friend and yours, Ziggy. All right, let me get him out here. Oh, yeah, Ziggy.
Hey everyone, how are you? All the people in the house go, yeah! Yeah! Good to see you. Look at this. This is a great crowd. I could see each and every one of you tonight. It's an amazing, what is going on tonight? I have no idea.
No, well, the Jewish community in Portland,
Oregon.
You know what the most exciting thing to do in Portland is?
Go to Seattle.
No, it isn't. No, you have to be respectful. We are here tonight to celebrate 10 years.
10 years! Maayan.
That's what I said, Maayan.
Maayan. That's right.
It's amazing, and we are honoring today the Brodkins
and all their hard work.
How did you know that?
I had no idea. I was just guessing. So this is an amazing thing. And what are we doing? Who are you anyway?
I'm Chuck Field. And this is my right-hand man named Ziggy.
Call me Zalman.
Really?
Yeah, okay, Zalman. Actually, call me Ziggy. But
I am, and you are, going to entertain everybody.
That's right. And what are we doing on here?
What are we doing on here? What do I look like?
Shagana.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You don't even know what that is?
It's a yid from Michigan.
A yid?
From Michigan.
I'm not from Michigan.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm actually from Chicago.
Chicago.
And we now live in Arizona. That's where we're coming to you from.
Arizona?
That's right.
Amazing. I had no idea. I was in the
airplane.
That's right.
Above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
We're the entertainment.
What do you do?
What do I look like?
A hypnotist. He's one of the best hypnotists I've ever seen.
No, I'm actually a ventriloquist.
Seriously?
I'm a ventriloquist. Without me, Ziggy, you don't talk.
Without me, Chuck, you don't eat.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Without me, Ziggy, you have no voice.
Without me, Chuck, you'd be talking to your hand.
I'm the ventriloquist, and he would be my...
Don't say it, Chuck.
Why?
Just don't say the D word.
You don't want to be called dummy?
No.
Why?
Lashon hara, dude. And it's not politically correct.
So it's not politically correct?
No.
What do you like to be called?
Huh?
What do you like to be called?
Wooden American.
Wooden American.
Vocally challenged.
Vocally challenged, I like that. If you're vocally challenged, what am I?
Comedically challenged.
Comedically?
Yes. Monetarily challenged.
You can quit right now.
Follically challenged.
You're saying I have no hair?
Very little, I would think. Horizontally challenged. I could go on all day.
But we'd much rather call him a dummy.
That's right.
And if we were here in person, we'd probably have a little dinner, maybe something to drink. Can I get you anything?
Yeah.
From my own?
Sure, Chuck.
What would you like?
I'd like a tequila and Nuka Magnesia.
What's that called?
The Mexican Roadrunner?
No.
I'd like a Manischewitz.
Here we go. Now we're on target.
I'd like a Manischewitz and prune juice.
Manischewitz and prune juice?
Yeah.
What do they call that?
Let my people go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have that here.
And neither do you.
That's right.
No.
No, so we're actually here.
Yes.
And to tell them a little bit about yourself. Where do you live?
With my dad.
Where's your dad live?
With my mom.
Where's your mom live?
With my dad.
Where do you all live?
Together.
Okay. By the way, Ziggy.
Yes, Chuck.
I'm not your dad.
Baruch Hashem.
Okay. See, look, I'll show you. Put these glasses on.
Take them off! I look like you.
No, I'm trying to think who you look like.
I look like George Stephanopoulos as a kid.
Okay, that's about. What about me?
Ben Stein.
No.
Then, yeah, there you go. Then Henry Kissinger, anything like that.
No. So, what do you call your father?
Tati. Oh, Abba. Ima, Abba. So your father's name is Abba? No, it isn't. It is. No, Mr. Rabinowitz, actually. And his first name is Rabinowitz. Rabinowitz. Middle name Rabinowitz. Rabinowitz. I could do it backwards. Can you do that backwards? Yes, go ahead. Rabinowitz. Okay. How about a nickname? What's a nickname? What do you call me? Knucklehead. Okay. I have a lot of friends and family, even in Portland. Seriously. And when they see me, they usually say, hello. You knucklehead, you. No. My real name is Charles. Seriously? Yeah. How many people named Charles out there? Not a real common name. Now, my real name is Charles, and they call me Chuck for short. Because you're short. No. In Hebrew, yes, my Hebrew name is Yecheskel. Yechechel. I thought it was Chaim. No, it's not Chaim, it's Yecheskel. It was tasteless. It was delicious. Okay. Would you like a little? I don't think so. Just a bissel. No. My real name is Charles, and they call me Chuck for short. It's my middle name. Does your father have a middle name? Yes. What is it? Rabinowitz. What? You can't breathe? No, your hand stinks. Seriously? Yes. What does it smell like? Let's see that again. Smells like leftover kugel. Yeah. Gefilte fish. Oh yeah? Matzo ball soup. I had those on Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, dude. You should wash your hands. Yeah. What does your mother call your father? I don't think I should say that here. Yeah. Yeah. How old are you now? 10. How long have you been 10? 53 years. And you? I just turned 64. Mazel tov, dude. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, you are a... Yeah, don't say it. Do you like your teacher this year? Well, I don't always see her. Sometimes it's inside and outside, and... You like your teacher. I like my teacher on Shabbos, Yom Tov. That's when you're not in the building. Those are the days I really like her. Well, I saw your teacher. Yeah. And she told me you didn't do so well. Yeah. So I'm just going to give you a very difficult. Let's see. How about a difficult? We'll find out if you're a smart dummy or a dumb smarty. Well, how about supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, and I can't even say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because it's way too hard. You just said it. I didn't. What didn't you say? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I hope you spell it. Super, S-U-P-E-R, cal, C-A-L. What are you doing? Doing this. Yeah, feel better now. SUPERCALIFRAGILISTICEXPIALIDOCIOUS.com. .org. No. E-I-E-I-O. No. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Hashem made me funny. What happened to you? Okay. Yeah. How about, let's see. How about 8,000? Yes. Plus 6,000. Okay. Use your head. That would be... Let's see. $8,000 in this pocket. Yes. $6,000 in that pocket. Yes. What would you have? Someone else's pants. Oh, okay. 13,000. You're amazing. Wish I could say the same. Roses are red, violets are pink. Sometimes you're good, Chuck. Right, nice. Are we having fun yet, everybody? I am having such a good time being here. That's right. So, Ziggy. Yes, Chuck. You're going to go in a suitcase. Is there a lawyer here? I would venture to say yes. I could see someone on the screen. Are you a good lawyer or a great lawyer? What's the difference? Oh, what's a good lawyer? One that knows the law. What's a great lawyer? One that knows the judge. Okay. Wish him a big hearty mazel tov. Hearty mazel tov, everyone. Send in tov, the mazel tov, the mazel tov, the send in tov, the mazel tov. I don't want to go. Help. Okay. Okay, easy, okay. That's my friend Ziggy. Let's hear it for Ziggy, everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone. You know, been doing this for a long time, and people always ask me, they're always saying, where do you find those dummies? How do you know what they should look like? So before I ever attempt to buy a dummy, I like to draw it out just to get a feel for what it might look like. So I usually, you know, they always say, back to the drawing board. Well, this is how I start. I draw a picture just on here, like here. This is a board, and I'm just going to come right in front of the camera right here, and I start. So this is a marker. You know, we say that in Hebrew? Touche. This is a touche. Okay, so we're going to start out with a big head. Everybody say Rosh Gadol, and a big mouth. Peh Gadol, a couple of eyes, and big ears. Oznaim Gedolot, and Einaim Gedolot. Why is it Gedolot instead of Gedolim? I have no idea why that is. Did his eyes just move? I'm looking in the camera here. I'll give him a mustache.
How about some glasses?
What?
I need some glasses.
You want glasses, okay.
We need some glasses.
Okay. Do you have a name?
Art.
Okay. Everyone say hello, Art.
Hello, Art.
What do you like to do, Art?
Hang around.
You like music?
I love music.
What's your favorite musical group?
The Talking Heads.
Okay. Art.
Yes.
Would you like to sing a song?
I would like to name that tune. I know this in 2 notes.
No, not. You want to name that tune?
Yes.
Hebrew songs?
No.
Okay. What?
TV songs.
Okay. Let's see if anyone could get this. And you hum the song.
Yes.
And if they get it, I'm going to erase something.
Na 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 na. Wait, no, I think I heard something.
Dick Van Dyke.
You're good.
Okay.
That's right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I know that one. It's the Andy Griffith Show.
Okay, you get to keep an ear.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're all the second grade.
All in the Family from the 70s. Okay. Go on.
I can't hear you.
Go on.
I can't hear you. There's a story of a lovely lady.
Brady Bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you supposed to be now?
Cindy Crawford.
Okay. So, I'm going to erase your eyes.
Not the eyes.
Yeah, get rid of the
I
eyes.
can't see anyone here.
Well, because they're actually not here.
Check your hands there. Look. Got schmutz on there.
Any last words?
Hasta la vista, baby.
Okay. That would be Art, everyone. It's here for Art. I want to bring out another guy here right now that I think you'll really, really like. His name is Dr. Saul Finkelstein. Let's hear for Dr. Saul, everybody. I'm going to bring him right out here. And Saul. Saul Finkelstein. Nice Jewish name.
Hello! Hello, how are you? It's good to see you all here today at Maayan. You goofed up, you said Maayan.
No, I never did.
I checked. I think he did. Didn't he do that?
No, it's Maayan.
Maayan.
Yeah, like Moshe Dayan.
Yeah, you don't have an eye patch.
Half the people here don't even know what I'm talking about.
Most of the people don't laugh at the jokes either.
Yeah.
How are you all? You're looking wonderful tonight at the big celebration.
Yes.
That's right.
So this is Dr. Saul Finkelstein.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a doctor.
What kind of doctor?
Well, I do all kinds of. I'm a professional doctor.
Yeah.
That's right.
Actually, let's start with family, because we want to have something in common. Could you tell us a little bit about your wife?
You didn't know?
What?
62 years, Chuck. The cooking, the cleaning, the vacations, may she rest in peace.
Seriously?
As soon as possible. So she's okay. She's all right. She had a little plastic surgery recently.
What, like a tummy tuck or a...
No, I cut out all her credit cards.
Okay. But she's okay.
She likes to shop. Yeah, she said, Sal, take me to the mall, buy me something big and round that would fit over my little finger.
So you took her to the jewelry store?
No, I took her to the bagel place.
That's right.
Amazing.
That's right.
Yes.
So you're married?
Baruch Hashem, I'm married 62 years.
And you've enjoyed being married?
About 11.
Oh, no, that's... No, you look great.
Thank you.
How do you look so good?
Actually, I work out. I go to the gym.
Yeah. What's your favorite machine?
The yogurt machine.
Okay.
I like that it's got strawberry and cappuccino.
That's right.
That's right.
And what's the secret to a good marriage?
The secret to a good marriage is shut and open.
You mean open and shut?
No, I shut my mouth and open my checkbook. And I walk a lot.
Good.
And we never argue.
It's nice to know. Well, how do you do that? That you never argue?
Anytime she wants to argue, I take a walk around the block.
How long have you been walking?
62 years.
Yeah, Sal.
Oh, yeah.
So, Sal,
yes,
what do you like to do?
I like to play a little golf. I like to sing.
What kind of music?
I like to rap.
Would you like to do a little rap for us?
I would like to.
Okay. Well, we're both going to do a rap together.
Okay.
I'll put this on.
That's a good idea. You look good.
And I'll put this on you.
It's a good idea.
Okay. We look like the Schmooze Brothers now.
How do we look, everyone?
Okay. Did you bring the music?
I have none. I'll make my own. My name is Dr. Sal. I'm a living doll.
He's really cool.
I like to go to shul.
My first name is Chuck.
You look like a duck.
My last name is Field.
You look like a schlemiel.
He's a wild thing.
A wild thing.
He's an old married man
with a real honey.
A really good cook.
She always stands till nuts naughty.
At work you are a genius.
At home I am a klutz.
We are amazing.
She thinks I'm nuts. I'm a wild thing.
To everyone here,
I'm happy to meet.
To everyone here,
I didn't get to eat.
So kick it, Dr. Sal.
And kick it, Mr. Chuck.
We're having fun with Maayan Torah Day School.
Maayan Torah Day School. We wish you lots of luck, sei gesund.
Let's hear it for Sal, everybody.
Thank you so. Oh, they like me. They really like me. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what?
Well, so thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you got phone calls. Hello?
Not during the show.
How are you? Was nacht? Good.
So, Sal,
so we wish you all the best. 10 more years of successful learning in education.
And
I would like to leave you with this one last word. Laughter is the best medicine. Stay healthy, stay safe, sei gesund, and thank you so much, everyone. Sei gesund. We're out of here.
Thank you so much, everybody. Let's hear for everybody watching tonight from Maayan Hebrew Day School. Thank you very much, everybody. All the best.
I want to thank you all again. Being here with us tonight, celebrating, it means the world to us. Having so many friends out there in the audience, we know that you're cheering with us. We know that you're rooting for all those children in Maayan. Thank you for coming out tonight. Again, we're going to leave the donations tab open. You can give as many times as you want. Thank you for making tonight's dinner a success. Thank you for being here, and have a good evening.
יש דבר חשוב שצריך לדעת, יש הרגש עצום בלב כל ישראל. ואף אחד שבעולם לא ייקח את זה ממני. אז תשמע אחי, תשמע טוב, אנחנו עם קדוש מכל העמים. האם תרגיש את זה בתוך הנשמה, שהקדוש ברוך הוא בחר בנו ורוממתנו? אז בא תשיר איתי מכל הלב.
כל הכבוד חברים, כל הכבוד ידידים, שאנחנו יהודים, אנחנו מאמינים, זכינו להיות עם המבחר. כל הכבוד אחי, כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד חברים, כל הכבוד ידידים, שאנחנו יהודים, אנחנו מאמינים, זכינו להיות עם המבחר. כל הכבוד אחי,
כל הכבוד. יש דבר חשוב שצריך לדעת, יש הרגש עצום בלב כל ישראל, ואף אחד שבעולם לא ייקח את זה ממני. אז תשמע אחי, תשמע טוב, אנחנו עם קדוש מכל העמים. האם תרגיש את זה בתוך הנשמה, שהקדוש ברוך הוא בחר בנו ורוממתנו? אז בא תשיר איתי מכל הלב.
כל הכבוד חברים, כל הכבוד ידידים, שאנחנו יהודים, אנחנו מאמינים, זכינו להיות עם המבחר. כל הכבוד אחי, כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד חברים, כל הכבוד ידידים, שאנחנו יהודים, אנחנו מאמינים, זכינו להיות עם המבחר. כל הכבוד אחי,
כל הכבוד.